Your big head's in the way.
I could be in grass. I could be on a bridge.
You're not on a bridge.
I could do double me.
Good.
You're an idiot.
I really like this one though. That was pretty cool.
Choose where you want to post on my timeline. That's
yeah,
rough.
things like, you know, I don't know. I could probably do something like this too. Like
preparing the live stream moment. So we should be going live here. It should give me the opportunity to say something about the post, right?
You're recording right now. So.
Yeah, it's recording. So I mean, it might not be live streaming, but it's recording. Day 12.
Mm-hmm.
And this is being the authentic self. I don't even know if I should capitalize that, honestly. The, right? I mean, what? You know, you're the author. What does it the stand for if it's okay? So being the authentic self, Sean Douglas, right? Sean Douglas, I'm gonna tag you right there, Sean Douglas. TEDx speaker. Obviously, it's so much more, but how do you prefer to be known when you're?
I want to be a person of value.
That's what
I want to be known for.
Tell a story. His unique story, right? We're all connected. It's a matter of, you know, what's your story? What's your story?
My story is a suicide survivor, and
time out. Here we go. Add title, go live. Thought that was it. Man, I know I want to hear it, and I know everybody wants to hear it. And I don't want to stop you. Nothing can. That's who you are. And I keep freezing up a little bit, but that's all right. Not sure why it's not giving me the opportunity to go live. A little bit of day 12. Oh, now backspace that. I'm on day 12. Maybe because it's recording. Can you hear me okay? Am I froze up?
Yeah. No, you're good.
I wonder if that's the case. It's not giving me the opportunity to go live at the moment. I'm not sure why. I want to go click your stream is connected. Setting up your meeting for Facebook Live. A little on the slow go.
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Well, that's awesome. All right. Well, aloha, beautiful beings of light, Rick Ely. And this is day 12 of being the authentic self. I'm actually really excited today. I'm get to meet with my new friend, Sean Douglas. Sean is a TEDx speaker. He is certainly a person of value, a person of interest. I think we can all be paying attention and learn something here today. He's got a unique story. We connected briefly. I just called him up. He's a regular guy like everybody else. You know, he's serving our country, and so he's agreed to spend some time with us today and share his story, what his life's all about. So, Sean, thank you for joining me today.
I'm excited, brother.
Who are you, bro?
I'm excited. I'm completely pumped, man. I love doing this stuff. Because you never know, man. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know that one thing that you're going to say, the one thing that you're going to do, that's going to be the catalyst for change in someone's life. You never know. That one thing you say, you might have heard it 100 times, but that 101st time that you heard it, all of a sudden it clicked. So you never know.
You know, I stopped, and when we first connected on the phone, I stopped. It was so funny, and I said, "Hey, dude, do you mind if we just take a breath?" And can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I have no idea what's going on in the background or even in my face at the moment. I don't have a screen for that. all I can do is show up as my authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And how we connected. You've got a story, man. I want to hear it. I don't want to. I want to get in the way, man. I just want you to.
Okay. So I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I was born in 1983. Born to two parents, married. My dad joins the military. My mom says, if you join the military, you're going to get divorced. Like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. I'm out of here. It was right around the time that Desert Storm was happening. So my dad's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Joins the Air Force with a wife and 3 kids. So my mom followed through and filed for divorce papers and divorced them. My mom met somebody new, immediately married that person. And from the time that I was in 2nd grade to the time that I was in 7th grade, me, my mom, and my older sister were physically, emotionally, and mentally abused. My younger sister was a little young, to endure that. But me, my mom, and my older sister all were physically, emotionally, and mentally abused by my ex-stepdad. And in my lifetime, from the time that I was born till 18, so in that teenage adult life, I lived in 11 different houses and attended 8 different schools. We were evicted. We slept in my grandparents' basement a couple times, slept in hotels. My mom worked 2-3 jobs just to make money. The guy that she married turned out to be a alcoholic, a drug dealer, and a coke addict. And my mom was supporting all of us, and he would take jewelry and hawk things. And both me and my sisters were instrument players, and sometimes we didn't have an instrument. So it was tough. It was real tough. My mom decided one night that she'd had enough and she was going to leave. That was it. And I remember a cop showing up at the house, and whenever things got really bad, we could go to that light switch. The neighbors told us, because they knew what was happening, we could go to that light switch, the porch light, and flick it on and off a bunch of times, on and off a bunch of times. And just flick it on and off a bunch of times. And that would know that something is going on in the house, because he would unplug the phones and dispose of any way that we could ever call for help. And I just remember flick all the whole time, just up and down, up and down, up and down. And finally, police showed up. They showed up at our house, and he was arrested. He was gone. And they said, you need to get out. So we packed up all of our stuff, and we went to my grandparents' house. We stayed there. And then my mom filed divorce papers and gone out, leaving, called the landlord, let him know what was happening. So we went back in, we moved all of our stuff out, and we lived in my grandparents' basement for 2 years or so. Yeah, no, 3 years. 3 years. After that, my mom got back on her feet and got her own place, which she lives in still to this day. When I was a freshman in high school, she bought the house. We moved out of the city. We moved up to Port Huron, Michigan. And I finished up my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade years over near Port Huron, Michigan. 9/11 happens. Mind you, there's a lot of behavioral issues that happen as you become a teenager. There's a lot of behavioral issues that happen, compounded by the fact that my dad on multiple occasions would tell my mom, I don't have time for those other 3 kids. I have another family to worry about. So me and my 2 sisters were kind of cast off to the side. My uncles and grandparents, and they always were there for us. But for the most part, my dad and my stepmom almost was like a burden to them. We were with my dad maybe every other weekend. Maybe we'd spend like a week out of the summer with him, but he had another family to worry about. And so that's the relationship that I've had with my dad. 9/11 happened. I used to fight in school all the time. Never would really show up. I'd pass all my classes just by taking tests. Never really did any homework. Got into some other things, that I shouldn't get into. But I graduated high school with like a 1.9, 2.0, something like that. So college is shot. Didn't really care. I had no care in the world. No care at all. 9/11 happens. Now I got to join the military. My dad's in the military. Maybe if I join the military, maybe he'll love me. Maybe this is what he wants for me. So I joined the military. And the relationship that I've had with my dad has been built on the military. So if we didn't have military to talk about, I don't know what the hell we talk about.
You guys talk today?
Every once in a while. We talked on his birthday, which was a little while ago, and then we hadn't talked for months before that. We talk on holidays and birthdays and Christmases and things like that, but calling somebody out of the blue, like, no, it doesn't happen. I'll never get a phone call saying, hey, son, I was just thinking about you. I'll never get that phone call. But that's not going to be me as a dad.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. That's not going to be me. That's not going to be me as a dad.
Nope.
Who are you? Who are you as a dad?
Who am I as a dad? Very strict. Very strict. Maybe it's because of the military. I don't know. Very strict. I was a drill instructor in the military as well, so maybe that's got a lot to do with it. But I'm very strict. I don't play. I don't play attitude. I don't play the games. So I'm very strict, but I'm also loving.
There's so much more to this.
Yeah. I'm very involved with what my kids do, in the sense that, like, I have to know what's going on with their school. Like, okay, did you do your homework? Like, what homework did you have? You got to turn it in. Did you turn it in? Like, I grill them all the time. Did you do your homework? What homework did you have? Did you get it all done? What time you got to turn it in? What time's it due? What's that? Like, I have to be involved, like, in their school and like all that. My 17-year-old son, we pulled him out of school in 7th grade because he was getting bullied a lot. And I said, man, we'll just homeschool you. Like, I think school's wrong for you. Like, he barely ever turned in his homework. Never really, he needs extra attention. He's got squirrel brain. He's got scatterbrain. He needs the extra attention.
Hey, I can relate with that. I mean,
like, he wasn't diagnosed with ADHD. He doesn't have like ADHD. We diagnosed him with ADOS, which is attention deficit squirrel. And he's got that. So he could be talking about one thing and then immediately switch up the topic on you halfway through the conversation.
Yeah.
And immediately start talking about something else. I'm like, dude, wait, what happened? Wait, what are we talking about now? Yeah, the mind goes a mile a minute. But he also has to be pressed in order to get stuff done. So I said, dude, you got to get out of school, man. School's wrong for you. I don't think school is doing you any justice. So we homeschooled him. From 7th grade all the way until, so he's a junior now. And he's in the local community college taking classes right now, and he can graduate this year as a junior. He could take his classes, his courses. He's super smart, but he's super lazy. Like,
I can relate to that.
Like, he's way too smart.
You find yourself being able to relate to those things? I mean,
Sure.
How else can you recognize it?
But, that was me. I didn't do any homework in class. I didn't do any homework. My senior year, I did no homework. I refused to do homework. And I'd get A's on all my tests. And the people who did the homework were like, dude, how? I'm like, I just know it. I just know the stuff. I just do.
Sean, what is it you want for your kids?
I want my kids to do whatever makes them happy, that is legal, and makes them have the most abundant life possible.
Okay.
So whether it be college, whether it be military, whether it be entrepreneurship, whatever it is. So my son wants to go into the Air Force and work security forces in the Air Force for 4 to 6 years, then come out and join the SWAT team in the civilian world. That's what he wants to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty, dude. There's a reason we're having this conversation. Everybody that I've been in my world, and all I know is my own world, right? Until I make this human connection with another human being and actually am present. I actually found myself at Wilco today. I'm on the phone in my ear and I'm going to check out and I want to be present. And I knew I wasn't present in that moment. I came back because I'd forgotten something. I'd come back because I'd forgotten something. And the lady that checked me out, I said, thank you for being so gracious with me because I wasn't present. She smiled at me and she was that. She was that because I was that, because I recognized that. And recognizing yourself along the way and getting to that place of alcoholism. I come out here because I need this for me, for my own soul, to be able to express what I was experiencing, to walk myself through a transformation and to meet myself on the road, man. I mean, it's like Jesus in Damascus, dude, on the road. Who are you going to meet? Who are you going to be? And when you see it all, and at some point you see a hopelessness that you go, man, what's the purpose in all of this? And then so this is that place of 100% responsibility. I talk about this stuff all the time. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't play around. I mean, I know I create my world. I was attracted to you because I know you do the same thing. You're diligent. You're passionate about creating your own reality, creating your own world. You're not going to stand by and let anything stand in the way of the happiness and the freedom of your family. Yep. That's your creation. You did that without feeling loved as a kid, right? And you had to create that for yourself. But there was a point in time where you got that you said, "This is it, man. I'm done."
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that all about, man?
Yeah, man. So I joined the military in 2001, right after 9/11. Like I was working at Discount Tire as a warehouse manager, and I quit that day, 9/11. I quit, and on 9/12, I joined the Air Force. And so I went into basic training, did all that stuff, and I said, I'm gonna go be a fighter pilot. So I ended up going in as an aircraft mechanic. And then a little ways through, I ended up being security forces and taking hold of weapon and, all that stuff. So kind of swapping a little bit. But I was on the ground in 2003 after they took the airfield. We were on the ground in Iraq in 2003, and we were launching airplanes, dropping bombs and all of that, taking fire, all that. So that's one of many deployments that I've been on. I've been all over the world, multiple deployments. Some places, Afghanistan, not so nice. Been in a lot of different countries. I've also developed a real serious alcohol problem. I wasn't a drunk. I wasn't an alcoholic. People drink water. People drink soda. I drink alcohol. I function normally. I drink till I pass out. I'd wake up, either take a shot or drink a beer to function, and then go to work. And that was like the military life. Women, alcohol, bars, cars. Let's do this. That was the military life back then. Now it's not like that. It is the complete opposite. You get in trouble. An ARI, which is an alcohol-related incident. You get one of those. You sit in a drunk tank on base for a little while. You sober up. You get counseled. Don't do that again. They call the chaplains. Don't do that again. Praise Jesus. And then, you go back to your dorm or your house or wherever and do it all over again. So that brought me to the point where I used to hang out with people that were worse than me. And I put a smile on my face, but I had a self-esteem issue. I didn't think that I mattered. I didn't think that I was valued. I'd see other kids hanging out with their fathers. I seen other people hanging out with their family, but I didn't have that. I didn't have a family. I was by myself, single, in the military, been cheated on a whole lot of times. Long distance relationships never work out in the military. I've been cheated on a lot. 2007, my house burns down. Had a big, huge, ginormous party. My house burns down. right after that, sleeping in a hotel, I'm sleeping in my car. Right after that, I'm with this woman now that's my wife. She's like, just come stay with me. Like, we'll get you right, you know? And I was that guy, man, Mr. Can't Get Right. Like, that was me. Everything I touched used to just fall apart. You know, I was like negativity all the time. But from 2004 to 2008, I built a $650K a year business by having an entertainment company, by DJing, parties, clubs. We provided sounds for conferences and events and summits. And I mean, that's what we did. We were there. We used to do foam parties. We used to do fire twirling, fire breathing. I mean, we would put on a show. That's what we did. We entertained people. That's what we got paid for. It wasn't like, hey, I need a DJ to go play this one wedding. Like, oh no, it's not going to be that. Like, we're going to do dances and we're going to do, you know, all the, like, we went over the top on everything we ever did. Right. So we built this huge company. That was the catalyst for all of the alcohol issues that followed. So I didn't want to stop. I loved my lifestyle. It was like the rock star party lifestyle. And my wife was like, I'm done with this. I can't do this. Like, you're deployed a lot. You're gone overseas a lot. You come home, you're drunk. You got friends over. Like, you're not being a husband. I need you to be a husband. I need you to be a father. You are not doing it. And so I was still talking to people back home, like girls that I dated way there. I was talking to them girls back home. I had all these girls on my phone still, first year of marriage. Like, it's kind of hard to just be, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. So she's like, I'm out. I'm out. So she left.
Wow. All this stuff's going on.
Yep. So she left. And then December of 2008, I put a gun in my mouth and I tried to kill myself. But people stopped me in the military. People stopped me. And what's weird about this is, like I said, we don't talk. Me and my dad, we don't talk. That day, I got a phone call from my dad who said, I feel like I just needed to call you. I feel like I needed to call you and see how you're doing, because nobody's heard from me in months. And I clammed up and I was by myself. And, and he's like, man, what's going on? And so I'm crying. Got the gun in my hand. I got a bottle of Jack Daniels in the other hand. And I laid out for him. Like, she left. She's gone. They're going to kick me out. I show up to work drunk one time. So I got charged with the Article 112, which is drunk on duty in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I was getting kicked out of the military. My wife had left me. I'm so far in debt. It's crazy. And I'm like, I'm just going to end it. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep putting a smile on my face. I can't just keep being Mr. Happy. Like, I can't do it. I can't do this all by myself. Right. And so, yeah, man, I put the gun in my mouth and I readied. My dad called me and I laid everything out for him. And he goes, you know what? I've been there too. I've been there. I've been where you are. Remember, me and your mom, we divorced. She took you kids from me. I joined the military and she leaves. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I've been there. I was there. I've been there. I'm like, holy crap. So that was sobering a little bit, you know, to know that I'm not the only one. And I think that's the key. Like, you are not the only one who has ever felt the way that you feel. If you feel flustered, a lot of people do. If you feel like there's a weight on your shoulders, a lot of people do. It's just what they just don't choose to show it. And that's why I said, man, you never know the one thing that you might say or might do that will change a person's life. You never know the one thing you might say or the one gesture, the act of kindness that you might do that changes someone's life. I was speaking at a conference and I was telling my story and I was talking about resilience and what resilience means. And at the end, a guy walked up to me and he just looked at me. I was like, hey man, how you doing? He goes, I'm doing a lot better. I'm like, that's awesome. He goes, if you weren't here today, I probably would have killed myself. I'm like, what? He's like, I came here as a last ditch effort. This was it for me. If I didn't get anything out of this talk, if I didn't get anything out of this event, if I didn't get what I was coming to, to look for, I'm out. I'm going to go home and kill myself. But I don't think I'm going to do that today. And we just hugged it out. He's a Marine veteran, been out of the military for 2 years. He's like, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. And so we sat there and talked for like an hour, 2 hours,
Yeah.
I think. And we just sat there and talked. And I said, man, I've been there. I've been in the military. I've been in my purpose. And then immediately felt like, the hell am I doing? I mean, I was running a mega business, huge business with other people, and was completely miserable.
Yeah.
Completely miserable.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I do?
What were
Who am
you
I trying to
chasing?
please?
What were you chasing, man? What was the
I don't. Well, okay. So first of all of a sudden that, if you're
That
not a
was a
millionaire, you
wrong-
can't be happy, right? You can't be happy. If you're not a millionaire, you can't be happy, right? If I don't have $1 million a year, you're not a real business owner. You're not a real entrepreneur. You're not successful enough. Somehow the $1 million mark is it. Or you ain't got a Bentley, you ain't got a Lamborghini, you ain't got a Ferrari,
Yeah,
you ain't
that's
got
all.
a 16-bedroom house, you ain't got, right? Like all these parameters are set. Okay. All of these, like we hear it in rap songs, we hear it in rock music, we hear it, we see it on TV, but like who sets the standard for success? And what I've learned is we do.
You do.
We set
Yeah,
the
you do.
standard for success. We do. Nobody else.
Yeah.
The moment two things happened in 2009, two things happened. Well, really in 2011, but here's what happened. Number one, I learned to value myself over what everybody else thought about me. When I had self-love and I made myself happy, that's when I could, from the overflow of that, give of myself to others. I was giving from an empty cup. I had nothing left. I had nothing to give. And I was trying to please all these people. I was a people pleaser because I thought that that's what love was. Because as a kid, that's what was demonstrated to me, was that make them happy and they will love you. So I was a yes man. And so if somebody was unhappy, it was my fault. Always. If somebody was unhappy, I took responsibility. It was all me. Because my job is to make somebody happy. But I was not happy. I was
You get
completely
to the
miserable.
place. Yeah, I mean, Sean, how do you get to the place where you're actually aware of yourself and the programs you're running, and then turn things around? Because this is the, I'd like to go back to the Facebook page and see some comments and questions, because I'm sure there's people out there that are, we're connecting with. It's not all about me and our conversation.
Mhm.
The point is to connect with what's out there. They're resonating, and I guess I need to pay attention here and see if there's anything out here. Okay, so there are some comments. Michelle says, perfect. Everyone deserves that freedom. Jason, me either. Me too. Our minds create our experience. Homeschooling is a beneficial decision. Have you read The Conscious Parent?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so there's more comments here, but I don't know how I'm going to. I think that's about all I can see at the moment. And if I don't pay attention to you, like I put it on my Zoom screen and just focus on your eyes and being present with you, I miss something. And I don't want to miss a moment, tell you the truth, bro, because I came here to learn and to share.
Yeah,
I don't have it all figured out. I don't think any one of us have it all figured out. But if we show up as that which it is we want to experience, if we be that,
Yep.
and I don't ever want to be that again. I've had that experience. There's no sense in reliving it and going back. The lesson is how, okay, now that I'm aware, who do I want to be? What is it?
Yep.
But so much of it is going on right now. There is this awareness and it's something worthy of we're talking about. So.
Yep. Yeah, man. Who sets the standard, right? There's a famous saying that there is no success when there is failure in the home, which means that a lot of entrepreneurs would rather get self gratification and satisfaction from closing a deal and making money, but they don't get satisfaction from spending time with their wife and kids because there's no ROI in it for them.
I had a net worth of about 20 million, and I went down to about a negative 10. It took me 7 years to get back to break even, only to file bankruptcy and start all over. And I've been married 20 years, and I'd be 21, and I damn near got myself divorced. And alcohol, 4.5 years. I haven't had a drink, but that place, that hole, man, I thought I was pickled. I didn't think I'd ever come out of that place. And
Yeah.
it is, dude. It's a dark freaking hole. I don't want to relive it. I want to, now that it's like I'm aware and I'm out of that place, there's no judgment. It really, for the alcoholic mind, and you don't associate yourself with being an alcoholic, I'll say I was a freaking full-blown alcoholic. I drank damn near a gallon a week, and I smoked plenty of pot, and I did whatever it took. I mean, to get to that place towards the end. And I wasn't really aware. I mean, I really wasn't aware until I collapsed.
Yep.
Even in the collapsing of that moment, and the collapse in the caring of my family and the support, the time that it took to get to this place where I am now is really dependent on, in my mind, in that one thing, and that's self-love. Do you love yourself enough?
Yep.
And that's why I come out now to be that. And I see you doing that every day. We use the term, crushing it. There's all this stuff going on in the world today.
Sure.
I just get to be me. That hamster wheel, that kicked my ass. I mean, It was the deal. I mean, there were months I'm knocking down millions of dollars, and I'm looking and I'm going, that's my identity, But until all of it is like pretty much gone, that one place where my wife was, where I had to be honest with myself and honest with my wife and let go of the outcome, like, dude.
Yeah.
Let go of the outcome, and now here it's like I've got this flourishing, beautiful life with my family and each member. So yeah, there's hope, man. I hope to be able to have a TEDx speak. I'd like to emulate some of what you're doing. I want to be the authentic me, but I certainly want to learn and grow from you and support you. And today when I come out, I want to see the highest ideal in you. So if I go out there and look in humanity, no matter where I am, and I see that and I'm looking for that divine, then, man, I recognize myself in that. Man, this is cool. It's a great, I can't even tell you all the synchronicities that have happened today, that I have all of the energy that I can't even comprehend the energy that I have at this moment, because allowing it to flow through me and to be that. And
Yep. Love it.
But without the exchange, it's empty.
Mm-hmm.
Without the human connection, it's empty.
Yeah.
What relationships are you building now that are creating and cultivating your future?
The relationships that I'm creating are just so deep, man. They're not based on, well, what's in it for me. When you have that mentality, now there's a difference between only doing something when it benefits you. There's a big difference between only doing something when it benefits you. Like, I'm not going to benefit from the, I don't know, possibly I could, maybe I can't, but I'm giving of myself at this moment right here. And so are you. You are giving of your time. You are giving of yourself. We're having an amazing, authentic conversation. And whatever happens from that, right? The expectation would be, well, dang, Rick, man, I'd love to spend, hour, half hour, whatever of my time with you, man. Can I sell? Can I sell something? Can I, do you want to, you got to pay me to be on your live. That's like, right? Like, that's the self-serving attitude that people have, though. And those are the people that I choose not to hang around. I want people who are servant leaders. Servant leaders. That's who I want to hang around. And the relationships that I'm building are deep-rooted relationships. Somebody will give me a call. Hey, man, I got this product. Like yesterday, hey, man, I got this journal I came out with. I'm like, oh, tell me about this journal. got this journal coming out. This does this. That sounds amazing. He's like, yeah, can you help me promote it? Absolutely. Yeah, dude, I'll help you promote it. Let's do it. Like, I love what you're doing, man. I love that. Like, that's so in line with my values. Absolutely. So we promote it with nothing expected in return. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I gave of myself and I gave of my time and I leveraged my network, and I love what they're doing. You know, I've got people that are like, hey man, I know you do this one thing. I'd love to work with you on this one thing, but I can't pay you, but I'll teach you something that you don't know. You know, it's that point where you're like, sorry, man, I'm really not interested in what you're teaching. I mean, this is the service I provide, you know, and I really want to just stick to that one service. Like, you can say no. You don't have to, dang, now I got to give of myself. Like, there's no parameters. There's no rules. There's like, I can only give this one way, but not this one way. Like, it's always up to you. You give of yourself no matter what you want to do. There are some times where people are like, hey man, I'd love to work with you, but I just, you know, I can't afford it right now. I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. That's no problem with that. Like, I do this one thing. I'm like, that sounds amazing. Like, kind of be interested in learning something about that. Like, what's all that about? So then we just swap skills. He teaches me his, I teach him mine, and then we both come out on top. Collaboration, right?
Collaboration.
That's awesome. But I'm also not gonna spend time on something that isn't in line with my values.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't make me feel complete and make me feel whole, and takes away from my mission at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I have one mission, and that is to bring the message to the masses. That's my mission. So I'm a speaker and I work with other speakers, books, courses, whatever, informational stuff, right? That's what I love. Like, how do I get the message? Because somebody, and what jazzed me up was that one guy at that one event who said, because I was here, I'm not going to take my life. And we still keep in contact today. Because I'm here, I'm not going to take my life. I was a drill instructor for basic training, and the kids used to get Dear John letters. Oh, it's too hard, and you've been gone for 6 weeks, and I don't know how to do military life, and I can't handle it. What do I tell them? You know what I tell them? I've been there, man.
Yeah.
I've been there. Let me tell you a quick. Let me tell you a quick story.
Yes, sir. Please.
This is gonna bring it home. A military serviceman is walking along the road and falls into a hole. A leader walks by and says, man, how'd you get in that hole? I said, I don't know. I was just walking. I was just living my life. And now I'm in this hole. I don't know how I got here. And he goes, you got to dig deep, man. You got to dig deep. So he gets a shovel and he digs deep. Now he's in a deeper hole. And that leader walked away. Just then, a psychiatrist and a therapist are walking by. I said, how'd you get in that hole? Well, he's like, I don't know. I was just living my life. I didn't know that this hole was, I didn't know this could happen. And they sat with him for an hour and talked. And at the end of the hour, they said, okay, we'll see you next week, and left him in the hole. Another military serviceman is walking by. He goes, hey man, what'd you do? He's like, I'm lost. I don't know how I got in this hole. I'm stuck.
Yep.
He jumps down into the hole with him. He goes, what are you doing? Now we're both stuck. He's like, no, we're not. I know how to get out. I know how to get out. And he showed that person how to get out. Empathy. Empathy over sympathy. Empathy. Crawling into the hole with someone is the best advice that I could give anybody. It is the only action to understand what someone is going through. No one will understand what Rick has gone through in Rick's life. Only Rick can fully become aware of what Rick has experienced in his life. But somebody who has walked a path similar to yours can say, yeah, man, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've been to that place. I got the t-shirt.
I got a little
Only
try.
that person.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got it. There's
People do it all the time. What about
a
funerals? What about funerals? Oh, I'm sorry about your loss. I'm sorry. I hate that. I hate when people say that. Sorry about your loss. Are you? Like, are you really sorry? Like, what are you apologizing for? It's not, you didn't kill the guy. It's not your fault. You know?
I
So what
love
I
the
said,
I love the
so what-
approach you take. It's like
So-
it's
yeah.
actually aggressive. It's actually in your face. You're creating the contrast. I've taken a little different approach, a little softer approach because well, I like to be softer. I like it a
Yeah.
little softer.
It's not
That's
wrong.
okay.
It's not wrong.
Right. So you take but whatever it is that you meet in life, you know, you're
Mhm.
meeting yourself. So be kind.
Yeah.
You know, be kind to yourself. I mean, yeah, man, I've been there. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
And yeah, you're not alone, dude. It's an incredible journey. And I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Our relationship is going to deepen
Mhm.
because that's our nature. That's who we are. And you attract that which you are. Don't be afraid of what you see. Don't be afraid of what you see. I talked to a guy today, a friend of mine called me up and I hadn't talked to him in a while. And he says, look, I want to meet you and I want to show something to you. And I want to introduce you to this person. And I need you to help me. But this guy's a bear, right? This guy's a bear and it'll eat you for lunch. And I thought to myself, And I kind of leaned in and I thought to myself, what would I ever have to be afraid of?
Mhm.
What in the world why would I ever have to be afraid of anything? Who do I want to meet? If I go out today with the attitude that I'm going to meet myself everywhere I go, or I'm standing in the presence of divinity, it's even with my children, you know, I mean, I got to stop to pause because they teach me so much. I learn more from them than my son is an active Marine.
Okay.
And yeah, and those words that I used in his growing up when I would say, we'd be in Disneyland, we'd be, you know, wherever we were, didn't matter. But we'd see a person in uniform and I'd say, I'd be sure to stop and say, you know, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Mhm.
And damn it, if that didn't have an effect on my son in somehow, some way, I don't know what all his reasons are, and I'll learn one damn tree. He's going to share it with me.
Sure.
But every man has their own reasons for everything they do, and if you can support the highest ideal of that one for that one, you know, it's not, hey, no, you should be doing this. It's, you know, I don't know. What's your secret, man? What's your secret, Sean? Because I'm just yakking
Gratitude.
here.
Gratitude.
Okay.
So
Gratitude.
after all that was said and done, 2008, that was the moment. That was my transformational moment. 2009, I get right. I started reading. The first book I ever read was the Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And I said, maybe there's something to this positive thinking. And in there, he said, you attract what you most spend time and energy on. If you only focus on the negatives, that is all you're going to see in life are negatives. If you focus on the positives, that's all you're going to see in life is the positives. That doesn't mean that negative stuff's not going to happen to you. It just means that you'll come out growing through those negatives when you use your power of positivity. There's a lot of positive psychology research studies that have been done. A lot of them. And I talk about them in my TEDx talk. I was a drill instructor from 2009 to 2013. I learned how to become a speaker and a trainer. I learned how to tell my story. 2014, I became a master resilience trainer and a suicide awareness trainer for the military. Started speaking at a professional seminar company, telling my story, teaching suicide awareness. I did that until 2019. I look back, I had to go through that dark moment. I had to have my dark night of the soul in order to have a story, in order to have a testimony, in order to have a message. I then needed to spend 4 years creating self-love in myself to tell my story and confidence to tell my story as a speaker. I then, from 14 to 19, spent 5 years building a platform for me to tell my story on, which is why I do my radio show and Facebook Lives and podcasts and speak and everything else. I had to have the moment. I had to learn how to tell the story, and I learned how to have a platform to help others. And this had to happen in my life that way. What I learned through that is gratitude, counting 3 blessings a day. Gratitude. It's scientifically linked to lowering your anxiety, your stress, and depression. You must exercise gratitude. Second most important, you must value yourself over what others think of you. I don't care what my wife thinks about me. I don't care what my kids think about me. I don't care what my mother thinks about me. Nobody. Nobody's opinion of myself is higher than what I think about myself. If I mess up, I hold myself accountable, and I'm way harder on myself than anybody could be. If I'm not performing as a father, as a husband, entrepreneur, a speaker, whoever, wherever, if I'm not performing, I hold myself to that standard. What standard is that? It's the standard that I set. The third core value in the Air Force is excellence in all you do. And so I exercise that core value with everything I do. Excellence in all you do. Some people wait to build a business until they're 100% ready to go. Some people will launch a course or launch a book when it's perfect. I believe in starting ugly. I believe in just getting it out there. Start. You have to start. But you cannot be afraid of what other people will think about you. I hold more value in what I think about me, right? Because here's what happens. People are constantly on social media, at work, out in the world. They are living in the reality of what other people think about them. Their mom wants them to do something. Their dad wants them to live a certain way. If I'm in the military, my son has to join the military. So my son is miserable in the military, but guess what? Dad's super happy, so I guess I'm happy too. But no, he's super miserable because mom wanted him to go to this one field. Mom wanted Sally to go to the doctor or to be a nurse because that's what the mom did. But Sally's super depressed, not doing anybody any favors. Stop living in the reality of what other people think about you and start living in the reality of what you think about you. Value what you think about you more than what other people think about you. And I promise you, a funny thing happens. You start to get real happy. You start to get real grateful. And you start to figure out who the real people that you need to surround yourself with are.
The real, authentic self.
Your real, authentic self.
Yeah.
When you live from the heart,
Yeah.
when you live in a way that makes you happy rather than living for somebody else, if you derive your value from someone else, your system is broken.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot derive your value from someone else. Read the book, The 5 Love Languages from Gary Chapman.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Think about it. We don't love somebody the way that we want to be loved. We are supposed to love somebody the way that they want to be loved. And guess what happens? They, in turn, love us in the way that we want to be loved.
I'm testimony to that, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally concur. My journey out was very similar with gratitude. I found myself every day. It was a gratitude list. If I couldn't do, I walked myself sober with my puppy, dude. I mean, I walked a mountain every day.
Yeah.
And, I was stoned too. I mean, I was stoned for 2 years while I was walking myself off of alcohol. It was a bear facing myself. That's, you know? I mean, but you're not the things you've done. You're not the things that it really is. When you recognize that the entire universe, at some point, when you recognize the entire universe is conspiring to bless you and those you dearly love, you're that. Um, yeah, and that preparation every day. I'm curious what it is that you do to prepare. I mean, everybody's a little different, and sometimes I have to, maintaining that place to where
Yeah. Hold on.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I could be a rocket chipper at top, I mean, and just explode if I did not maintain that.
Hold on one second. Hold that thought. Something got unplugged.
Okay. See, that's what happens. We get unplugged.
Oh, my dog just unplugged the computer and I didn't want it to shut off. I was like, what is that? So I want everybody to listen to this. My message for everybody is that you have the power to say, this is not how my story ends.
Right.
You have the ability to turn the page and write a new chapter. So make the decision. You either make excuses or you make results.
That you're all about results.
I don't make excuses. I make results.
I got that. I felt that. And that's why I was paying attention and tuned in. You get that what it is you are, you attract that. So don't expect anything less than what you are. And when it shows up and it looks like it's something less, well, you know what? Look inside.
Yep.
Good enough. Good
Yep.
enough. Not good enough. That's great.
So the meditation that I do is super powerful for me. Now, I don't know if anybody else does it, but the meditation that I do is I sit at the edge of the bed and I pretend I'm in a movie theater. So I do a breathing exercise. I close my eyes and I'm in a movie theater and I'm walking through the door, and on my left are the lights, and I'm passing by the lights slowly. And on the right side are all the seats. There's nobody in the movie theater. So as I'm walking through the movie theater, I pick a seat right in front and I sit down and I ready my popcorn, I ready my drink, and the movie plays. And the movie that is playing is the movie of my life. And whatever is on that screen, I don't know what it's going to be. It differs. But I'm in the movie theater and the lights dim and it starts coming on the screen. What's on the screen? What is it that is playing for you? Is it happy? Is it sad? Where are you? Are you on a road? Are you on a beach?
Are these things that you're asking yourself in the meditation when you're in that scene?
Yep.
Okay. So you're getting outside of yourself, aware that you're sitting in the movie theater and you're watching yourself have this experience, and then you're cultivating the movie. This is a mind movie. You are creating your mind movie and setting the stage for your day and how you're going to show up. That's a beautiful meditation, bro. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, man. I want to know. I like it. It's authentic. I mean, you just close your eyes and I just imagine walking through the movie. Right? I'm walking into the theater. And I got the lights over here, and I'm walking in, and I sit down. I get ready, and then the lights dim, and that's the moment. And I'm like, "What's on the screen? What am I watching?" And sometimes it's my childhood. Sometimes it's my kids being born. Sometimes it's me in the desert. In the Middle East. And sometimes I'm a grandparent. And so I'm asking
time is irrelevant at that point.
Yeah,
it's not what you think it is.
Right. So I clear my mind, right? I just clear my mind, and then I'm imagining, right? I'm imagining the movie, and I'm like, what's playing? And I'm being cognizant. I'm aware what is on the screen.
Yep.
So today I was driving, like I was in the movie theater, and I was in a convertible, and I was going around a mountain, and there's ocean over here, and there's rocks going up here, and it's me and my wife, and we're driving, and we're winding these turns, and turn after turn after turn, winding these turns. And there's an aerial view down, and we're just sitting there, and then we just look, and we're just having the time of our life. We're just driving, and it's just turn after turn after turn, and we're just driving, and there's nothing else. The air is so clear and cool and crisp, and we're just driving. And that was it. That was it.
It's enough.
And so I have an alarm set, and I set it for about between 5 and 7 minutes. And when I open my eyes, I'm like, I'm the driver of my life. I'm in charge of my life. Nobody else is in charge of my life. I'm in charge. My life is what I say it is. I live to my expectations. I don't live to anybody else's. I have responsibilities. I have kids. I have a spouse, a dog, bills. I'm in charge of my life. No one's going to do it for me.
Yeah.
I'm the driver. See, one of the rules of success is to have a master of meaning. You must become the master of your own meaning. You can either choose to have a negative meaning or a positive meaning to everything. Oh, I'm not getting that promotion. That must mean I suck. That promotion maybe wasn't for you. Maybe the promotion that you're going to get is another job. Maybe it's not ranking up in that company, but instead getting a whole new career. Maybe that's your promotion. Or maybe retirement. Maybe retirement is your promotion. But you have to become a master of meaning. So gratitude, self-love, and mastering the meaning. Everybody wants to know why something happened. Everybody wants to know. Why did this happen? Why did my child get taken away from me? Why was I an alcoholic? Why did I do this? And how did I get in a car accident? And what happened with it? Everybody wants to know. And everybody wants to blame other people on why that happened.
Take ownership. Master of your own meaning. You're taking, that means 100% ownership, 100% of your reality. There's nobody to blame, man. You get to that road and you start talking your story, and I guess that's where you're saying at that place you're the minority. But I'm gonna do a little bit of Kali here, okay? This is learning some Filipino martial arts. It's that in that life, that rhythm is like dance, and you don't worry about getting caught up or caught off guard. You just get in the rhythm of life. You get in the rhythm of your own life, and you're fully aware of what it is you want to experience. And then you begin to cultivate and create that. There really are no limits. You can just never be at the expense of another without you feeling that. I mean, recognize that. You can be that if that's what you want to experience. Cognizant, aware.
Yep.
You know, this is
Yep.
I wasn't aware of who I was. You don't know what you don't know until you experience that. Dude, if you were to emulate one person in the world, if you were to look to them and I have somebody in mind right now, and I want to share, if I may, too. Who is it that you want to emulate? And I know you're being your authentic self. So
there's two. One is my grandfather, who passed away in 2013, and he's a Korean War veteran, and he was our rock for the family. He was our glue, man, who kept everybody together. He was our shining light. He was the man that every man in our family aspires to be. My cousins, my uncle, everybody aspires to be that guy. If you had to create somebody out of nothing, the attributes of my grandfather is what everybody would strive for. Besides him, it's me in 10 years.
Me in 10 years.
Matthew McConaughey.
When we first met 2 years ago and connected, that's what that is. Me in 10 years. Who are you talking to? Me in 10 years.
Yeah, I'm chasing me in 10 years.
Hmm.
I watched a couple of years ago. I watched a Matthew McConaughey speech, And he said, I need someone to, someone to love, someone to something, and then someone to chase. So it's me in 10 years. I'm never going to be my hero. My hero's me in 10 years. I think of who I want to be in 10 years, and then I strive to be that person. And then in 10 years, I want to be the 10 years from now. And then in another 10 years, I'll be the 10 years from that point. So I'm never going to be my hero. I'm never going to be who I want to be. So it gives me something.
I actually feel like that, though. I mean, no disrespect, but Sean, I feel like that. I feel like, it's like that Mind movie. I can sit and feel that before it comes into reality. In fact, I think that unless I feel as if, it actually doesn't come into reality. If I don't have complete alignment inside of that, if I'm not that, if there's distortion, it shows up as it is. So I have to recognize myself in it. That future self that you're chasing, right, or that ideal, and putting all of those things in alignment for your highest good and your highest self although on the outside it may seem like the most selfish thing in the world you could do. You got to take care of others. You got to take care of others. You got to take care of all their needs. And you know what? Everybody's garnering for sympathy. This is how they play you. They're garnering your sympathy. You have to serve them. Are you sure? But and I mean, this is just a mind hack, right? This is just a mind hack. Whew. And I can show up as my highest self for others. And
Yep.
And I can do that. And I can be my highest self. And I don't have to fall into that something less than. Yeah. And I learned that from a good friend of mine over in the Carolinas, except I met him in Ireland. He said, the word "and," Dusty Staub, good man. I love him. Listen, we're going to spend more time together. We're going to learn from one another along the way. And I'm going to support the highest ideal of you. I'm going to support your vision of you, your life for you. That's what I
Thank
support.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all I want. That's all I want. Right. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, this has been absolutely, this is my jam. This is what sets my soul on fire. It's just talking to people and being that light, being the light in someone's storm. This is what I love to do.
Yeah, but you can hold that ground, man. There's nothing you can't fix. You got it all. All right. I love you. And I'm speaking to all of you, all right? I say that from the bottom of my heart. I love you. You're wonderful. You're beautiful, kind. It's not the way I love my wife. Don't worry. I do. I love you. Authentically love you. And so don't be afraid of the word. It's we get to that we bridge that gap from the head space to the heart space, and there's no limit to what we can do. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, God, I want to go, but I'm sure that there's comments in there, and I'm sure that people want to connect with you. And I have not been paying attention to these things. I've been paying attention to you.
There's not a whole lot of comments. I got it pulled up.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of comments that came.
And I imagine you'll address others as they have questions for you. You're accessible and very accessible. So
yeah.
All right. Anything else, Sean?
That's it, brother. Thank you so much for your time today and to share the space with you. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
See you, brother.